Yes, please. We are going to do the tornado one.
Okay, we have the video?
We have the video and we won't see it. Hi, how are you doing? It's Todd and Erin. Oh, wait, I forgot.
It's Tuesday. It is a short week. This is not bad. I know we all kind of have post-vacation hangover. It always hits me like a Monday afternoon, and I'm just laying there with my daughter, and I'm like, I'm going to actually have to work. And that is like the saddest thing in my life, because like at this point, really, it has to occur to me that I'm going to have to work. Okay, that's kind of, yeah. Hi.
Forgot another award over the weekend.
Really?
That's me dancing. There you go.
You were magnificent with the little streamers. I thought it was really pretty of you. Mm-hmm. Yes.
What were you talking about when I was getting my statue? You're talking about...
No, we were just talking about our Zozo had her tonsils taken out on Friday. And I don't want to brag, but apparently, according to the doctor, my daughter had the biggest tonsils and adenoids that he'd ever seen. So it was a lot more intense than we all expected.
It was torture for her and for us. And she... But you know the lie that you tell everybody they can eat all the ice cream they want?
And we'd even gone shopping. I had let her pick out all these Ben & Jerry's. And like I said, you have whipped cream topping on top.
Guess how much she's had so far? None.
That's not true. She had 3 bowls the first day. And that's, you know how they kind of look like they might be coming out of it that first day because all the medication's still in them. Then the second day hits. And here's where you become the worst parent in the world, because if you don't make sure she has enough fluids, we take her to the hospital.
And swallowing is such a pain
that she doesn't want
to do it.
And who can blame her? When you feel sick, you don't want to either. But the sad thing is that I'm playing with my hair. I'll stop. But the sad thing is then you have to threaten her with, okay, then I have to take you to the emergency room, and then there's going to be an IV, and they're crying. And she's like, no, please, don't, I'll be good. And then you feel like, you know, essentially the worst parent in the world. And the sad part
Stop talking.
That argument went on for like 4 times.
4 times? No, it went on every 8 hours.
Yeah.
And the problem is that Erin got to the stage where she was putting her shoes on to go to the hospital.
Yeah. I mean, you have to take it all the way down the line.
It's been, and to watch your kid suffer. And then I go, 20 minutes, if you take this, 20 minutes, you're going to feel much better.
I will not feel better.
I'm out of control with my body.
Oh, that was the sad. Have you ever had that one? Oh, my body is taking control. She's much better today. Thank you.
You know, I want to show you. I spent a long time fishing up in Strawberry. And usually
such good memories.
Some storms come up really fast, and you really got to hide. If you're a little boat, you got to go tuck in someplace.
Yeah, you're out in the middle of the lake. Not good.
Something happened on Monday. Take a look at this.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool.
Should we see what it does?
Yeah, I would pull
You guys
over.
look, it's going up. Look at it.
Bro, it's straight up a tornado. Look, it's all the way up at the top.
Move your glasses.
Oh my God. You guys, look at that. Mikey, take a picture of that up there, babe. Look. Oh shit. It's gonna start freaking pouring some rain. Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool.
Should we see what it does?
Yeah, I would pull
You guys
over.
look, it's going up. Look at it.
Bro, it's straight up a tornado. Look, it's all the way up at the top.
Move your glasses.
That means it was a water spout, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Put it on the water.
Now, you've been like one of the microbursts before. Was it a water spout or a microburst you were in?
Just a wind that comes down and crushes your face.
Oh, just that. Okay, well, that's lucky.
But, yeah, no kidding. How rare is that at that altitude? I don't know. Fish would fly, be catching cutthroat throats, and just, which is illegal to do, by the way. You can't catch them. You got to catch them on a rod, otherwise you'll get a ticket.
That's a little overwhelming.
That's crazy.
Well, I'm amazed by this, and I probably shouldn't be, because anything outrageous that can possibly be done in the world is done. But I was watching the news today and yesterday. They're releasing a brand new video game. Now, video games amaze me because they are so beyond the scope of insane levels of money. I mean, they get...
What do you mean?
They get, you know...
They make money.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
they have like A-list actors now who voice these in Hollywood because
Right.
it'll crack like $1 billion within like a couple of weeks.
Right.
That's how big video games are. They make movies now look like nothing. And 97% of our kids are going to play these between
Right.
the ages of 11, they say, and 18. The newest one out, and follow along with me because this is not a joke, is called School Shooter, or it's Active Shooter.
Right.
Parentheses,
But it takes
school
place
shooter.
in a school.
But you were the point of view of the kid who was gunning down students in a school. Now, they tried to mitigate that by going, oh, you can also select to be one of the SWAT team if you'd rather, shooting the kid who's shooting other children. So let's just go through this. I know that video games are extraordinarily violent. Anyone who's ever played like Grand Theft Auto or Call of Duty or anything, I mean, we all know that. And there's actually a lot of studies that show that violent games do not necessarily spark violence in teenagers. As a matter of fact, there does seem to be some anecdotal evidence towards the fact that it might be a mitigating factor in reducing violence. And if you take a look at the last series of school shooters we've seen, their emotional makeup and their profile, most of them were not video game enthusiasts.
No.
That was not their thing. But
The-
just the sheer horror to me that you would actually come up with something where you're shooting students in a school as a video game.
Everyone's trying to be cutting edge in the field, and that's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
No, we can't stop them from, release it if they're going to release it anyway. But there's already a petition on change.org requesting the limit of the release, or maybe at least limit it to 21 and over. I still think a boycott.
Which doesn't work.
I think a boycott is still the best thing. If you don't make any money, you'll go away.
Yeah.
And this
Well,
is one that needs to go
We're
far, far
talking
away.
to the wrong people, though. We're not talking to the
Well, yeah,
kids.
but these are also parents who can talk to their kids and go, do you really want to be this person?
Right,
Because
this
they
is
talked to
not-
some of the kids from Parkland and said, hey, they just released this game. How do you feel about it?
I thought it was interesting, and this is not a gun thing, okay, so stop. Oliver North, what was the thing he was involved in? Arms the Contra thing. Anyway, Oliver North is the new leader for the NRA, and they did an interview with him, and they were talking about the fact that what he thought were some of the key elements, and one of them he thought was Ritalin. And then he talked about not having social people to interact with. Okay,
That's
the
actually-
Ritalin thing, huh? And then he goes through a form. What he didn't mention was video games, violent video games. He totally left it out, and it's always talked about in this package. Always talked about. And then they found out he was actually was a person who helped them put the game together. He also did commercials for that game. It's the most violent game pretty much they have.
Which game is this?
Call of Duty, I think it is. And then he's also
Wow.
he's also in it. And they have a younger version of him with his shirt and his medals and stuff. So that's out. So that's good.
Yeah, there's no conflict of interest there at all.
All right, so since
Okay.
we're...
Well, we're talking about outrageousness. Do you want to just go straight to people who are going to hell?
Sure.
Because this to me is just like, you've got, really? Okay, now, first of all, the best news over the weekend, Utahn Josh Holt was released from the prison in Venezuela.
Very cool.
His little wife was released too, so that was a big deal because that was my next
I was
question.
worried about that too, right?
Because she's got children, and it's
Yeah.
like, is everyone getting out together?
Right.
He looked surprisingly good when they had that round table with him, and then, of course, the congressional delegate from Utah,
Right.
President Bush, President Trump. But that's a big deal. And it was just like, boom, all of a sudden it happened. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So, such
And
good
from
news.
Venezuela, I can see like North Korea, but are we really that far away
Venezuela's
from Venezuela?
new dictator everything has fallen apart. It used to be an incredibly prosperous country. But this is what's really amazing. So there was a big group of people from his ward. I love the ward. And all the Relief Society, and they were setting up this beautiful homecoming. You do the streamers, and you do the
See,
welcome home sign, and
now
you put out all the casseroles, which is like the best part of Relief Society
Something
ever.
terrible is going to happen. I
Oh,
can smell
naturally.
it.
Naturally. So there was a group of women, they're getting this together. So they come out, and 4 of their cars have been broken into, windows shattered, and someone has stolen everything of value from their cars.
Including...
Like purses and,
Oh.
even down, she said, to some of her kids, like her kid's tablet that had video games on it and such. And it's like amazing. So they're standing there and they've been putting together a homecoming for Josh Holt, and somebody has broken into their cars. Now, all of you know that, just even think of the expense. It's not even replacing your purse and the hassle of that. It's also most people's deductibles for auto usually don't start at like $1,000 or $2,000.
Right.
So they're going to pay hundreds upon hundreds of dollars to replace all their windows.
It's not even the money. It's just the fact that someone did this, and that's just so sad.
When you're putting together, and that she said there was no surprise what we were doing. There was a big sign right there, and we were all out there hanging things. I mean, that's what the part that killed me.
The people take advantage of anybody. I remember when my grandmother passed away many, many years ago, and I remembered that my grandfather and my family hired someone to stay in the house when we went to the funeral, because that was a big deal back then. They'd see the obituary.
Oh, man.
They'd know when you were out of the house, and then they would come and get your house.
Wow, just to make sure that nothing extra horrible can ever possibly happen.
And you're going through that, and then you have to worry about that. So those people are going to hell.
Pretty much, yeah. Okay, well, we ponder the joy of their fires of torment with Beelzebub. Let's go to Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom, and she is brought to you by Fink and McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com. With the new changing rates and how incredibly competitive our market is, you have to be ready to go. Fink-mcgregor.com. Also by Brio Technologies. These guys are your experts in lighting, sound, and video. You can bring your business into this century with some amazing new techniques, and they can do it all. BrioAudiovisual.com. And by the New Millennium Finance Group. This is the time to figure out all the hard questions, and they're the ones who know what to ask to kind of guide you towards the visualizing of what your financial future is going to look like. Go to utahsfinancialplanner.com. Daisy, my dear, what's going on?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Hello, everyone. Here's what's making news on Tuesday, May 29th on GephardtDaily.com. An officer-involved shooting this morning in Cottonwood Heights sent a suspect to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police say a male suspect believed to have robbed grocery stores in the 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. hours was spotted riding a dirt bike. A police officer on his way to work just after 6 a.m. recognized the suspect and dirt bike from a description and began a pursuit. When the chase led into a residential area of Cottonwood Heights, the officer fired on the suspect. It is unknown at this point whether the suspect shot first. And the shooting today was the second in less than 24 hours in Salt Lake County. A fatal officer-involved shooting occurred about 2 a.m. Monday after police say a man who had just robbed a 7-Eleven and was spotted by an officer in West Jordan. After a struggle, police say the suspect was able to steal the officer's patrol truck. The suspect drove away, hitting 2 other vehicles before he was stopped. When more officers arrived on the scene, the suspect reportedly pointed his gun at them and was fatally shot in response. The suspect was later identified as Michael Glad, 23. Occupants of the 2 vehicles hit were taken to the hospital. And a West Valley Sydney toddler who police say shot himself on Saturday after finding a gun has passed away. The 2-year-old was taken to the hospital in extremely critical condition on Saturday night, and police said at that time he was not expected to live. The boy's father, 27-year-old Tasmain Maley, was arrested and booked on manslaughter charges for leaving a gun in an area accessible to a child. He was also charged for possession of a gun by a restricted person, drug possession, and obstruction of justice. And time now for a look at the Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's top audio-visual specialists, and by Magic Wash, home of the long-lasting ceramic car wash with outlets in South Ogden and in Layton. Temperatures in northern Utah will peak in the mid-70s with overcast skies today with a 20% chance of rain. The chance of rain decreases for the next 2 days and highs will be in the mid-80s. In southern Utah, the chance of rain is near 0% and you are already toasty with highs in the mid-90s expected all week. St. George may even reach 100 by next Monday, so make sure your fans, air conditioners, and swamp coolers are in working order. That's it for now. For more news and weather 24/7, go to GephardtDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, my dear Daisy.
Thank you, Daisy.
New Millennium Financial, you know, when you're the person who's trying to like focus on your family's financial future and then you start thinking about, oh crap, now what do I have to do? Who do I Do I have to get a guardianship for somebody? Do I have to plan on like a college fund? Do I have to look at retirement? And it really starts.
Retirement.
And it really should start in your 20s because there's this joy of a compound interest that nobody really explains to you till it's usually too late. And so this is not a thing that a lot of parents talk to their kids about. It's not actually a thing that you get in high school or college, not really. And this is why New Millennium Financial Group is so important. If you go to utahsfinancialplanner.com, they have a free analysis that gets you started because there's a lot of questions you have to answer, and most of them they say nobody has ever asked you before. And until you do know you can't make a decent plan that's really going to work for you. So this is the joy. Go to utahsfinancialplanner.com for more information.
All right, so if you remember, after the royal wedding, and especially the white roses and the forget-me-nots and the peonies, and they walked through that big arch at the end,
Yes.
and then they donated all of these flowers to nursing homes.
And a couple of children's
And
hospitals.
you see this elderly woman like covered in flowers.
It was beautiful. I loved
But it
it.
was a really nice move, you know. And there's another story you have about.
Well, it's incredible.
Inspiring.
Amelia Thompson, she was one of the young spectators at the Ariana Grande concert in Manchester last year,
Right.
the bombing.
Right.
Specifically chosen because it was so many young kids. And she was injured. She went through a lot of anguish the way I think any 12-year-old, any human being would go through with this. And she did a lot of sessions with a therapy horse, and it helped her a lot. And she went, well, if it's helping me, maybe I can help others. She actually started raising money for other bombing victims to be able to go and get therapy help because she's 12 and she's freaking amazing. Well, it was these reasons that her mom nominated her as a potential guest for the royal wedding between Meghan Markle and Prince Harry at Windsor Castle. And she'd written this, and basically, I guess what they'd done is spread the word as if there's some exceptionally amazing British citizens, it would be nice to have them
That's interesting.
at our wedding and honor them, you know. And so her mother got the email back saying she'd been invited. She goes, no, I thought it was fake. I totally thought it was fake. And she actually had to make some, place some phone calls to go, is this a joke? But no, it was for real. And it was amazing. So even though she wanted to bring her mom as a +1, her mother is also an angel, which is how I guess Amelia turned into it. She goes, why don't you bring Sharon? Sharon was a mom who lost her 15-year-old daughter in the attack. So she was her +1. So they get all dressed up and they're looking great, and they have their hats because the hats are important. And it was incredibly adorable. The thing that was so cool is she had a chance to talk very, very briefly with Prince Harry via email, and he was just talking about how brave he thought she was, and he started talking about how he had coped as a child of the same age when he lost his mother Diana. And now I'm getting verklempt. Gosh.
I'm not going to.
Can I get through one thing?
I'm not even looking at you. I'm looking at the curtain over there.
So there are the cutest
That sounds
pictures of Amelia all dressed up with her hat, and she's at the royal wedding like a boss.
Got another.
Can they seriously be more adorable, those two?
Not yet.
I mean, seriously, Prince Harry and Meghan are just about as cute as they can humanly be.
Yet. We got another text from one of our winners.
Oh, Christopher's.
Down at Christopher's. They made the they called us the reservation. They made the reservation. They took 3 of. Actually, it was a couple that went, so they took 2 other people, and they went and had a great dinner. And of course, took pictures all the way through the meal. So they took pictures of the incredible steaks and chops and things, and then showed them half eaten, and then showed the salad. Then came back, and the half of the beef was gone again, and then all the side dishes, and we're finally like, whoa, it's over. Dessert comes out, 4 of them, and they share them in the middle. And what happens is that they just dwindle down in the pictures too. Nothing. So
yeah, that wasn't torment at all. Thank you. We're
so all you have
happy
to do,
for you.
if you want to win this for you and your friends, or you and your family.
Well, all you have to do is just share the show today. You don't even have to drop a comment if you don't want to. Just share the show. Let us know you are watching. I know your friends. And then we'll just pick somebody from all the shares on Friday, and you will be going on your way to Christopher's.
All right, so coming up next, go out and grab a cow. Go out and pick a cow. Any cow. It's weird that we're talking about this right after Christopher's, isn't it?
That is troubling.
It's coming up next.
We're brought to you by Fink & McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. Just head to fink-mcgregor.com. Take 4 minutes to answer some questions, and you'll get a great idea about mortgages that you're eligible for. And by StayFit Wellness Clinic. Go get a personalized health analysis. This is the time to get back in shape. Feel better, feel younger, and without a ton of new medications at stayfitwellnessclinic.com.
Welcome back to the Todd and Erin Daily Stream. This is just a weird story, but they're named different types of yoga. Go.
Oh, they've got the new goat yoga.
Goat yoga.
There was the hot stone yoga. Then there was the hot yoga where I slipped in a pool of my own sweat. That one was really attractive.
It was hot.
Many different kinds of yoga. Why? What is this?
Because now, to find your centerpiece, to align your chakras and junk, there is a new thing, and it's in Upper New York, and they're offering this at the Mountain Horse Farm. Well, it's a horse farm.
Okay, that's nice. I love horses. We've just
Also-
barely talked about horse therapy.
Also a cow farm.
Okay.
So basically, you get to cuddle with a cow. And cows evidently have a lot of intuition.
Do they?
Yes, because they can read your body language as they would in the wild, not now, way back when, and they would watch another animal approach, and the way it was, or the way ears were, and it was like, is it mean? Is it what? And they look at you, and you walk in the little corral there, and you sit on a hay bale, and the cow will come up to you, and they're a big cow head, and you just do this, and it calms your heart, and it makes you feel better. Pat a cow.
You know,
And
my
then
uncle was a
cuddle the cow.
veterinarian, and I don't remember cuddling with any of his cows. You actually worked on a dairy farm in Maine. Do you remember cuddling any of the cows?
I will tell you a story about we had 40 head of milking cows.
Okay.
And if you know anything about milking cows, is they are very particular about what time things happen. So in the morning, they need to be milked.
Oh, I can only imagine.
If,
Overnight.
and early moms, brand new moms, swollen udders, you can see veins, and they need some relief. That's it.
That's so sad.
It is. It's horrible. And so the cows were so nice, and they would rub
Please,
against you. It was
just
so nice.
milk me.
But you'd look across the street where the field was, and you'd go over. They'd be lined up, and you just open the gate, and they'd walk right in, and they'd line up where you went through the door into the milking parlor. And they were the nicest, and they got in line. They only came in 4 at a time. They knew.
How polite.
Because there was only 4 milking stations. It was great. But they were great until I had to go outside, because the door that pulls up was jammed. And so remember, the cows with the udders and the veins, okay? And
I think any one of us who's been a nursing mother remembers exactly what this feels like.
Very painful. And I went out, and I was trying to get the door and stuff, and I turned around, I had to go get a tool, and they all came around me.
Like, it's time now.
They all came in, and it was just like, okay, I got a head, and they just started pushing. And it was just like,
oh,
okay,
man, I'm going to be crushed by
I'm
cows.
Screaming for Dave the farmer. And I was like, you know what he did? He laughed.
Of course he laughed, because they have no conscience whatsoever.
And he says, well, you keep busy over there, and I'll fix the door. Seriously, pushing into you, you've ever had a dog that leans? That, but like 1,200 pounds. And it was just like, okay, girls, try scratching a head. No cuddling here. And then the door opens, and they're all like, let's go. That's my cow story.
It's a beautiful story.
So you can go and cuddle a cow.
Okay. That does sound lovely.
And who doesn't want to cuddle something that can put its own tongue up its own nose? All right.
There might be a limit to some of this new therapeutic approaches to nature.
Erin's been
Just
hungry
thinking.
this weekend.
What about the coat of arms? You have to tell me.
No, we're not going to do that.
Oh, no?
No, we're going to go
Aw.
right to the mussels, because you were hungry this weekend. And where did I start?
For seafood.
Seafood,
Yes.
and we kept talking about it. It's just like, oh, I want to go to Seattle. Oh, I want to go to Maine. Well, the
Anywhere where
Puget,
they've got the lovely plethora of mussels, all just stacked up on the shore, on the rocks, and you're just like, you can just
in Maine,
chisel them off.
if you want a blue mussel, all you need is a flat bar, and you find one, and you find thousands of them. Anyway, in the Puget Sound,
They're glorious.
in Seattle, the scientists they trace pollution levels, and what they use.
Sure, that's important.
What they use is mussels, because mussels are filter feeders.
Yeah,
and,
bivalves are a big deal for that. Yeah.
and they're easy to find, stuck to a rock. And as their little hand comes out and it does this, wait, that's a barnacle.
I thought it was a foot.
This is a new impression of
Doesn't
me,
it? Doesn't
me.
the mussel have a foot like a clam?
This is a barnacle. No, but it breathes it sucks in the water, filters it, sticks it out, and so because of that, it's getting all the particles.
Anything that's in the water.
Anything that's in the water.
Sure.
So, guess what they found? It's a list.
Oh, that's not good.
Antibiotics, antidepressants,
Well, at least the mussels aren't sad.
chemotherapy drugs,
Wow.
heart medication, oxycodone as well. Very small, very, very minute amounts, but they found them. Now, my question is, that would be like a oxycodone, that'd be like a muscle relaxer, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? It'd be a muscle relaxer. If used as directed.
You just called it a muscle relaxer. That is so stupid. I don't even know why I'm laughing.
The question is that I have, that I don't know what the answer is that, is this because it goes through your body and it out, and then it goes through the sewage treatment plant, but it survives the particles, and then it goes into the water? This can't be just people flushing stuff. That has to be going through someone.
Oh, yeah. No.
So if you're depressed and you're in pain,
You need a buzz.
and you need a buzz, go dive into the Puget Sound. That's all I'm saying.
That seems really depressing.
It really does.
All right, coming up next on Hollywood Connection, the worst actor in the world
It can't be.
to write a book has written a book.
This can't be true.
And it's hideous. We'll tell you about it next.
Is he really the worst?
He's like the worst to write a book? Yes, you'll see.
All right, it's coming up
We're
next.
brought to you by Stay Fit Wellness Clinic. If you're tired of feeling sick and tired, it's time to make an appointment with Dr. Bowden for a new holistic health plan to make you feel better, lose weight, sleep well at stayfitwellnessclinic.com. And by Magic Wash with 2 locations in South Ogden and Layton. Come in for the ceramic car wash that keeps your car cleaner longer by sheeting all the dirt and the water off your nice shiny finish.
Welcome back to the Todd and Erin Daily Stream. Are you
Hollywood
sure?
Connection is brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. This is the perfect time to get your swamp cooler or your air conditioner all ready to go. $39 special. And then you're saving money all summer. Just go to UtahHeatingandCooling.com.
You know, I don't like it sometimes when everybody says, oh, it's the worst, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. And you have said that this person is the worst actor in the world.
He is not the worst actor in the world. He's an incredibly annoying human being. And he's extraordinarily smug. And you've probably seen his smug little face all over the talk show circuit recently. Because this actor,
Why don't you say his name?
who takes himself very seriously and has actually won an Academy Award, so there's that, just wrote a novel called Bob Honey, Who Just Do Stuff.
Bob Honey, Who Just Do Stuff.
So you know this is going to be amazing. It is a
Oh, you are so critical.
169 page of awful.
It's like a pamphlet, isn't it?
It's a slim novel about Bob Honey, who's an aging septic tank entrepreneur.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And government contract killer of senior citizens.
Okay.
Bob Honey does stuff, and he doesn't like all the branding and the selfies these teens do these days. So it's a very educational, highbrow work.
Who's the actor?
Sean Penn. He obsessively hates his chubby, red-haired ex-wife and obsessively adores
Oh, wait. This is a spoiler alert for a 170-page
a woman who's like 12-ish or 20-ish. In other words, it's like everything you can imagine about misogyny and mean and awfulness and weirdness.
Is this just you? Or
And he is hailing this as a literary triumph. The nicest thing anyone has managed to say about it so
Okay.
far with all the literary
With the
reviews is
reviews.
it's darkly comic.
And it's short. Are there pictures in the book?
I'm hoping so. It's generally really horrifying in every possible way, but he said that it was extremely important for him to write this because it's a scathing overview, he says, of today's American society.
And septic tanks. And murdering old people.
And hating women.
Well done. Well, put that on your
and
summer
apparently-
reading list.
And apparently his primary complaint thus far, now that the novel the novel, has been released for a month is that the sales are very poor. And he says the reason for that is because Americans aren't smart anymore.
When I was doing stand-up, and I did stand-up for 6 years, there was a guy we worked at named Vince. And Vince actually said the following words, because he always bombed. It was embarrassing, but I don't know, he kept doing it. And he said that his mother told him that his jokes just went over people's heads.
Oh, because he was so smart and so intellectual that we were all too foolish to understand.
He did like fart jokes and stuff. It was. He said that, and most of the people kept a straight face at the bar, but it was like all the jokes he does was just, in the dirt, Anyway, I'm sorry. Sean Penn, good luck.
My mom says my stuff is great.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go to Daisy. She's in the Gephardt Daily Newsroom. She's brought to you by the New Millennium Financial Group. This is a good time to get your financial future on track. Go to utahsfinancialplatter.com. Also by the Stay Fit Wellness Group. I'm excited. I'm going to be going in this week. The things that they can do with myotherapy and fibromyalgia and all the miserable long-term chronic pain symptoms are just incredible. So go to stayfitwellnessgroup.com. And also by Fink & McGregor Mortgages Made Simple. Just go to fink-mcgregor.com. Within 4 minutes, you can find out some of the options that are available to you, and the price will be so much less to get your mortgage through there. Daisy, my dear, what's going on today?
Thanks, Todd and Erin. Here's what's making news in the U.S. and around the world Tuesday, May 29th on GephartDaily.com. The White House announced Tuesday it will impose billions of dollars worth of tariffs on certain Chinese imports and will release a list of affected products by June 15th. A statement from the Trump administration says the U.S. will take steps against China's certain discriminatory and burdensome trade practices, including a 25% tariff on Chinese imports containing industrially significant technology. Police in southwestern Illinois have arrested a man suspected of vandalizing cemetery headstones with swastikas. Close to 200 headstones were found defaced in less than 2 days before Memorial Day. Swastikas were also found painted on 2 mausoleums and an office building. Police identified the suspect from surveillance images. And 2 journalists from a TV station in South Carolina were killed when a tree fell on their news van while they were covering weather conditions in the Charleston area. The tree was 3 feet in diameter and fell on their SUV, killing both men. Both men, anchor Mike McCormick and photojournalist Erin Smeltzer, were in their mid-30s. A local fire chief the journalists had interviewed 10 minutes before their death said the men told him to stay safe in the dangerous weather, and he told them the same. And time now for a look at the Wasatch Front weather, brought to you by Brio Technologies, Utah's #1 audiovisual specialists, and by Magic Wash, home of the high-tech, long-lasting ceramic car wash with outlets in South Ogden and in Layton. Northern Utah temperatures will reach the mid-70s today, with a slight chance of scattered showers. It gets warmer over the next 2 days, with highs in the mid-80s. Southern Utah stays in the 90s all week, with pretty much no chance of rain. So remember your sunscreen and try and keep cool, St. George viewers. For more news 24/7, check out GephartDaily.com. Todd and Erin, back to you.
Thank you, Daisy. Erin's been talking about Stay Fit Wellness for a little bit now. The analogy on this is, if something's busted on your car, right, and you have a good mechanic, and you say, I need front brakes, and you take it in, and he fixes the front brakes. Being a good mechanic, though, he starts looking at other things. He looks in the undercarriage, checks your ball joints, he's checking, your unions, all the different things in your car, because they care. That's called being comprehensive. Now, this is the thing that they do at Stay Fit Wellness, is they look at like the entire package.
Well, it's total body fitness, and there's a reason for it now. It's because everyone is so used to going to a doctor where they don't have a lot of time, and they're going to treat one thing. They're going to give you, here's some medication for that one thing.
They don't have time to do anything else. Insurance, there's all the restrictions. Well, Stay Fit, the doctor has a different approach, and so he wants to go through everything. Your clinical nutrition. Do you have any long-term health problems? Do you have chronic pain symptoms? There's millions of different things that he goes through to make sure that he's got this right for you. For instance, did you know that you can use laser therapy for neuropathy? If you've got any kind of a chronic pain issue, it affects the rest of your body. And that's one of the big reasons that he goes through everything, to make sure he knows exactly what's going on with you. Now, I get to go in this week, and I'm really, really excited because there's one knee injury that's causing problems with everything else in me. And I know that once I can get that fixed, he can get everything else put back together, and my life is going to be so much better. Look, just go to StayFitWellnessClinic.com. It's StayFitWellnessClinic.com. Schedule a consultation. Find out how much better this can be for you.
All right, so I have a story, and it's a mystery.
A mystery story.
A mystery, and it's about cookies. Or is it?
Okay.
The gentleman, he's 44 years old. He lives in California. His name is Robert. Excuse me, Robin.
Robin
was in his kitchen, and his girlfriend said, "Hey, let's make some cookies." So, oven's on, mixing up the bowl. They had kids coming over.
This is so great. Very pastoral scene.
Yeah,
Everyone's
next thing you
having
know, he shot twice.
Was it like a drive-by? What happened?
Shot twice. Each shoulder got shot twice. His girlfriend's making the dough. She stops because he got shot. And they were like, "Oh my gosh!"
Was it like a drive-through? What happened?
He grabs her with a shot in his shoulder, drags her to the floor. "Get down!" And that's what they thought. These shots are coming from outside.
Yeah, something's
They did
happening.
the military crawl.
The crawl. The crawl's good. Always good.
And got out, and they called the cops, and they rolled out the back door. He's still shot. And then all of a sudden he went, "Oh, wait a minute. I put my revolver in the oven because the kids came over 2 days ago, and I wanted it to be way out of reach." She turned the oven up to 350, and that's what did it. The bullets.
He put his gun in the oven.
It's an odd place, isn't it? So it starts going off. He opens the door because he's being shot by his Maytag, and he goes in to grab it. Now, what's the problem with grabbing it?
It's super freaking hot because it's metal.
It's 350 degrees. And it goes off again, and it spins the gun in place around. He's now got a severe burn on his hand as the gun goes off again, and either a bullet or a fragment on a ricochet gets him in the other shoulder. So the police come, and they're like, "No, this is impossible." So they take her away, and they both ask him the same questions and all this stuff, and their stories line up, and they realize, "You're just an idiot."
I would think the red imprint that says Remington, on your palm.
So anyway,
You hid your gun in the oven.
I've heard of this before, though.
And then you reach into the oven where
Right.
there is a superheated piece of metal
Right.
that you already know has gone off twice.
See, I'd be really worried.
And you attempt to grasp it with your
Right,
hand.
right. I would just get out of the room. Because
Just let the gun have the oven.
so it's a revolver, so it's got five shots in it, and it's gone off twice. It's like 3 more. In some cases, 5 more. I think I would just leave the gun alone instead of trying to go
Till
in
it got tired.
to cooled off, maybe. Huh?
I just don't know anyone who.
Both shoulders, fragments, in the hospital. He's in stable condition.
The only bright side about this is the kind of stories that the ER room personnel
They love
live
this.
for.
They
They
love
live
these
for it.
stories.
And I would just like to point out that I appreciate his personal sacrifice, because when I am forced to go into the emergency room, these are the endless conversations I have with my doctors or
She
nurses and
does.
paramedics while they're trying to fix whatever is wrong with me. Because there's nothing more satisfying than hearing the most horrific, bizarre stories ever. And that's a good one.
When I had heart surgery, every time I woke up, Erin was talking and interrogating a nurse about, well, how far was that in? And junk like that. And it was just like, "Eesh."
They enjoy those stories.
No, you enjoy those stories.
Well, I enjoy them too.
All right, coming
Like
up.
degloved like a limb. Best story ever.
Ew. Coming up, you guys, over the weekend, you know how the weather was kind of hit and miss in Salt Lake City, big storms, little storms. Anyway, we've got some video that you have to see and see our valley I have never seen it this way before.
You also have to see my horrible long-legged son who has long legs like his daddy, taunting his mother.
It's coming up next.
We're brought to you by Connect Heating and Air. Go to UtahHeatingandCooling.com for their $39 air conditioner tune-up special. Some care now could make the difference in hundreds of dollars of energy bills this summer. And by New Millennium Financial Group. Take your feeble financial health back to a more robust position with a consult with New Millennium Financial Group. They're offering a complimentary financial analysis to get you started at utahsfinancialplanner.com.
Thank you. Welcome back to the Todd and Erin Daily Stream. Between the rainstorms, which, gosh, I loved. Didn't you love the rainstorms?
It was really beautiful. They were so bizarrely violent, though, and I felt so bad. I kept thinking of people who were tent camping.
Yeah.
And going, did you put the stakes down hard enough? Because I'm thinking you're about to float away.
It's the kind of weekend where Erin's gonna get ready to go for a walk, and she makes me check the vortex weather Doppler system.
I walk up in the mountains. I'm sorry that I don't want to get hit by lightning.
I'm like, you should go now because there's another one coming through Provo, and it looks angry. And then she goes for a walk. But this is just a video of you out with Zachy, and well, take a look.
So, this is my horrible son, Zachary. And you may be saying to yourself, Erin, you're a terrible mother. What kind of mother would call her son horrible? Well, Zachary has his father's unfeasibly long legs, and his favorite thing to do is go hiking at the steepest possible pitch we can find along the Bonneville Shoreline Trail. And if I want to keep my horrible son in sight, I have to move my short little legs as fast as they can go to keep up with him. Every now and then, Zachary will turn around and taunt me. And I just smile and think to myself, laugh it up, funny boy. Mama's got the car keys.
And he would look behind me and just sort of taunt me like, you are so slow with your stubby legs, Mom.
But then I love this part. I mean, you guys, you look over the valley when we have mixed weather and stuff. It is so amazing just to look out like this over the valley. I mean, it's just so pretty.
Bonneville Shoreline Trail, by the way, I'm going to post a bunch of different family-friendly hikes, but there's like 5 just along the Bonneville Shoreline that are amazing hikes, and they're really easy to do with your kids. You don't have to be tortured as much as I was.
But at one point when you get up there, there's like a maze through the mountain oaks, and it's just like, Erin's called me a couple times. I'm not sure where I am.
Just, can you give me a hand here?
All right, so anyway.
But it's like a total Julie Andrews moment when the camera swoops in and she spins around with her arms out and goes, the hills are alive.
Right.
It's totally that moment.
All right, you guys have a good day. We're going to see you tomorrow right here at noon for the Todd and Erin Daily Stream.
And don't forget to share the show today to enter to win that dinner for 4 at Christopher's Prime Steakhouse. Have a good day.
New trophy. See ya.